Please. Why? Now you have to miss the first 2 games of next season. Why? Why? I don't understand the petulance. Why would you just kick out at a player? I understand it wasn't like a stomp, like with impact, but it was petulance. I mean, he was silly in doing that. I mean, there wasn't any force, but I mean, VAR is a dangerous and what. I mean, it wasn't dangerous or anything, but it was a bit uncalled for. So I understand, kind of understand, but I mean, it's VAR. What do we expect? And the other call between Lamptey and Mudryk. Mudryk went off with a concussion, and we substituted him in the first half. But the ref gave nothing. He literally gave nothing. No yellow, no red, just a review. And then I think the VAR said there wasn't any inconclusive evidence to change the referee or to tell the referee to overturn his decision and not giving a red card, and at least send him to the monitor and go make the guy look and make the guy make a decision himself. Okay, let me not get into much of the VAR issues, but this video is about the VAR issues. So let me be straight. So the Premier League, these guys are about to vote, I think, for next season, either to scrap or continue with the VAR. So I did a little bit of research about VAR and how it's been going in the Premier League, just the Premier League, because I feel like VAR is being utilized kind of properly and efficiently in other countries where everything is efficient. The checks are very efficient, like 30 seconds, but then they seldom make the wrong decisions. So in England, it's a totally different story. In the Premier League, so the percentage calls of VAR that have the correct percentage calls of VAR have been, like, they have a very healthy percentage. So before VAR was introduced, the percentage number of correct decisions in England was like it was 82%. 82% of the decisions made were correct out of 100, of course. So now with the introduction of VAR, I know it's not VAR isn't. It's not something to be excited about because it took away the excitement from us, and I don't understand. We thought it was gonna help football, but I mean, now it's having kind of bittersweet taste in my mouth. That's just me, my own subjective overview about VAR. But with the introduction of VAR, the percentage of correct decisions that are made went from 82 to 96. That is a huge change. But I mean, I would have thought that with technology, we're looking at around like 99. I would accept 99 because it's technology. But now there's something wrong with technology. This technology has a bit of a human touch. And guys, like anything in life, we're human, we make mistakes. So now the interpretation of VAR comes into discussion now. The human element of the people that are in charge, the video assistant referees, are human. So now we have to take that aspect into consideration. Whenever we're about to talk about VAR, we need to understand that VAR it's basically a human controlled technology, basically. So that's where the amount of controversial decisions come from. It's not the technology, but it's the human behind the screen. That is the problem. So I'll just give you like quickly the teams that have not I okay, the teams that have had the correct calls by VAR that have like benefited the most basically. So the first one is Aston Villa. Aston Villa has benefited from 11 calls from VAR. 11. So they've had 11 calls go for them in their favor. And number 2 is Chelsea with 8. Number 3 is Everton with 7. I mean, Everton could. Okay, we're not going to talk about the points deduction thing about Everton now because we're talking about VAR and why certain clubs. It's not certain clubs. The club that wrote a letter to the Premier League was Wolves. So I understand it from Wolves' point of view because I think in the first game of the season, Wolves were denied a penalty against. I think they played against Man United. They were denied a clear penalty, and that was the first. I think it was the first clear error by the VAR. They didn't. They did not even. They didn't check. They just did not give the penalty. So, the teams that have suffered the most from VAR are it's Liverpool, because Liverpool have had a couple of bad decisions go against them. So the teams that have suffered the most from VAR are Liverpool. Liverpool have suffered 4 incorrect decisions against them. The second team that has suffered the wrong calls is Brighton with 3 calls against them. And then the last team to suffer the most is Arsenal. And Arsenal and Wolves are on 2-2. So they've suffered from the wrong calls twice this season. Teams that have benefited from VAR and the correct or incorrect decisions, but this is benefiting in the sense that they gained an advantage from VAR not changing the decision or not telling the referee to go look, So the teams that have benefited the most from VAR are Aston Villa. Aston Villa have benefited 3 goals from incorrect decisions by the VAR. Man United have benefited 2 goals from incorrect decisions. Also Newcastle and Nottingham Forest have benefited. But I mean, that was just me. I remember. Let me guys remind you. Do you guys remember Luis Diaz versus Liverpool versus Tottenham? But the Luis Diaz goal, that goal was a clear goal, but because of humans being in charge of VAR, the message got lost in translation. Basically, the communication broke down. I'm not sure where or how, but by the time that the referee and the video assistant referee gathered their thoughts and understood what message was being relayed, it was too late to give the goal because the referee had allowed the game to continue. You understand? You get me? So that's why I'm saying it's really bad. VAR isn't taking us seriously, man. These people need to take us seriously. And I understand that VAR is supposed to make our lives easier, but at the moment it's not. These people, I mean, the amount of mistakes that VAR in its entirety this whole season, the mistakes that have been by virtue of the VAR making mistakes, the amount of mistakes is staggering. 20 mistakes. And those 20 mistakes are just because the VAR officials did not take the chances to intervene and tell the referee to go to the monitor and go make a decision himself. The video assistant referee sometimes takes onus of being the referee, or just takes onus of making the decision that the referee doesn't even need to go to the monitor to go and look what is going on. Do you understand? And that for me is something that, I mean, if VAR is checking something, I would just say, tell the referee, make a decision. Both of you guys make a decision. You in his ear. Tell him to go to the monitor, watch or see what happened, and then make a clever decision. That's all we ask. Because we the ones that are consuming this whole thing. We watch this. We suffer. You understand? So now, it's impacting the spectacle of the game. It's impacting people, the fans that go to the stadiums, and I mean they just need to, like, people need the people in charge, especially in the Premier League, like Howard Webb, all of these mic'd up things. I mean, it's not making any difference with you and Michael Owen just talking and just explaining the conversations between the referees and what, why, and how. I mean, the damage has already been done. So, my thoughts on VAR, I mean, it's like VAR has been a great tool. It's been a great tool, but the impact of human error is really affecting the effectiveness of VAR, and it's becoming a stumbling block. For instance, offside calls this season have been very controversial, leading to games being overshadowed by these nuances. Like, I mean, now the game is played and the game is lost. And now what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the decision that the VAR didn't make, the incorrect decision that the VAR didn't give, a penalty that they didn't give. The VAR, why didn't you tell the referee to go and check, you know? So, and the red cards. Like, I mean, Reece James' red card yesterday, it's a bit soft, but it's a red card. I understand it. But VAR is such a subjective tool to use that we can't just take. I just don't know how to. I can't get myself. I can't. I mean, the football fan experience has been affected by VAR. The checks. These guys sometimes check every single angle available to them, and the one they might even check the angle of the VAR. I mean, come on, these people, it just take too long to clear the goals, and they take too long. It's affecting everything. It really is. So that's my 2 cents.